Okay. So interface means like two systems will be there. It may be a inbound interface or outbound interface. So like we can say right now from Oracle application software to third party. Third party, it may be any system. Okay, it may be Hyperion or any other their own software, anything it is. But right now, what we are doing is we are taking out the data from Oracle applications. So how to take out here and in which directory we need to take out here is there is a path we have to give here. The path we need to identify. Path name is here v dollar parameter. This is a data dictionary table where name like you have to use UTL file search. Now you can get this. This is a UTL file directory. It is name. In this name only we need to generate a file. Okay, this particular directory. Wherever you see outbound keyword, in that directory we are going to generate it. So first step is what it is. First step is find the path of outbound interface file. Okay, how to find here is this one. I meant to say the table name is v dollar parameter. Take this. This is the first one. And second one here is we have to define a package for this PLSQL package. To register any package procedure, two keywords are required. That is error buff and one more is red code. So these are all fixed one here. Red code will have a values. That is 0 for normal concurrent program, the status of concurrent program. And if you give 1, it will end up with a warning. If you give 2, it will end up with an error here. Error buff will give error message. That's the second point. First, let me explain the procedure or package you can use. It's very simple and same procedure for every other module. Okay, so now you take this first syntax here. I think PLSQL already going on, right? Syntax is same. Create or replace is required if you want to modify a number of times. Replace, which is used to override the procedure. Create or replace. If you are freshly creating create, you can use create without replace also. But R replace is required. We will compile n number of times. We will do multiple time modifications. Now this is the name of the procedure which you are going to execute it. And as I mentioned, error buff, unknown error messages, it will take automatically. And red code, if you want to terminate your program, okay, any program, go to view, request, find. You can see a concurrent program statuses, error, normal, and one more yellow color you have many times you have seen, right? That is like this. This is a warning. So especially they have given a codes here. For normal it is 0, for warning it is 1, and for error it is 2. If you want to terminate your program with the status error, the red code is equal to we have to give. Okay. And these are all input parameters. We would like to find the data between two purchase order numbers. Okay. Either numbers are varchar, then we have to check. Okay. Data is there. Sometimes varchar also. At that time, we need to change the data type of it. We'll see that. And cursor, you know, right? Cursor syntax. Cursor is what is the cursor first of all? Cursor is like a variable, correct? Cursor is a variable. It holds the select statement output here. This is a select statement output. Till here, the select statement we have to give. And we are filtering between two purchase order numbers. That's why and condition is also I have given here. So these two, how it is coming here is in the form of parameters. So PO number from, it will come to your where condition. this one. The whole query will be filtered based on the parameters. This is the filter condition it is. Okay. Check are there here. If you look at 11i tables are there. If you press F4, it is a view actually. If you go inside of a script, like tables will be there, that is AP suppliers. Press F4 again. Again, it's a view, but there is a hash symbol at the end. So it's a addition based view. That's okay. Now check, are there any other views? Is there underscore? Make sure underscore all tables. This is a PO query only. Purchase order form. If you go to application, purchase order, there purchase orders, purchase orders. You can see whatever the columns you are seeing in this particular query, PO number. This is a PO number. PO number is always stored into segment one column. We already developed a query also earlier. Second one is what it is, vendor name. Vendor name is this one. This is from AP supplier. This is from AP supplier sites, and this is from AP supplier contacts. By seeing itself, you can tell easily. And line level, item. Item is stored into your table, that is MTL system items B. And then after that, PO lines all. Line level, we can say this entire information is stored into, if you go to help record history, it will give you PO lines all. So same query, you can use it. It's a PO query only. Okay. Still, if you want to check it, you can check simply select statement. If you select a limited portion, F9 we can use F9. Table view does not exist. Somewhere table error. Just check what is that error. Yeah, this is where it went wrong. Now you need to select the statement. F9, function 9 to execute it. Normally you have used control enter, right? But in this case, if you select a limited portion, F9 we can use like this. And if it is showing or hiding output window, we can use F2 like this. F2 is the output window. To show or hide, we can use F2. Okay. So this is the output here. Like check how many number of records. There are 74,000 records are there. If you want to filter based on PO numbers 500,000, then there is a filter condition also. Clear? So again, I'm going back. If you want to register any procedure inside of Oracle applications, two parameters mandatory, that is error buff, red code. Error buff will give error message. Red code will have a 0 for normal, 1 for warning, and 2 for error it is. And there are two parameters which we are giving as an input here. Now, the second one here is cursor declaration. Cursor name. This is our own variable name. You can take anything here. It's a variable actually. Cursor name is select statement is the syntax. Okay. I hope you are okay till here. Till here you are okay. 58 lines completed. Next is, we have seen one directory here. Correct, this directory. In this directory, if you want to generate a file, what you can do, there is a one option here, that UTL it is utility file.f open. Okay, UTL is a predefined package. Utility file it is. Simply you have to use it. It's already package defined. Thousands of line code inside already there. You can see it's a big package. Oracle only given everything is ready-made. Okay. Now we have to use one option here, that is file open. Check F open. This is it a procedure or function? P means procedure, F means function here. See, it's identified automatically. Whether it is a procedure or function automatically identified here. Function it is. Function will have a class here, right? Do you know that? The difference between procedure and function is return class. Return class is a difference here. Now we have four parameters in this. If you want to use this F open, four parameters are there. First parameter is in which location you want to generate. Location we already identified, that is $v parameter. And file name. File name is you are going to give a file name. It may be a dynamic name or static name it is. Now open mode. If you want to open a file, then you can use some modes are there here. Just go up. The whole description they only mentioned here. Go up, check the description of modes. See here, open mode. Possible modes are here is read. We are reading a file. If you want to write something, you can use write. If you want to add, then the A means append here. Read, write, append. These three will use. And there are other modes also here. This we don't use much. Even I never used as of now. These three modes. If you are loading the data into Oracle applications, read mode we can use. And for writing W, repetitively adding, then you can use A. Read, write, append. These three enough. Okay. This RB, WB, these are all maybe I'm not sure. I never used. Okay. Now next one is maximum line size, and it is a default parameter. Defaultly null here. If you want to pass parameter value, you can pass it. Otherwise, you can ignore it. So that's why the parameter here is we mentioned a keyword that is default null. If you don't pass also, nothing will happen here. It is not a mandatory parameter, but here these three are mandatory. If you don't give a open mode or if you don't give a file name, your program will fail because it's a mandatory parameter. Clear? So that's about the F open. It has four parameters: location, file name, open mode, and line size it is. Line size also, the maximum line size is this one. Valid values are 1 through 32,767. This is the line size. Clear? So again, I'm repeating, UTL file fopen is having four parameters. First parameter is location where you want to generate your output file. Second one is file name. See, L file name why I took here is parameters will pass multiple times, like sometime in between 500,000. Sometimes the parameters are dynamic here. I want to keep all the files in a directory. I don't want to overwrite. If I give a static name, if you run 10 times, only one time file you can see. So that is the reason why in between begin and end, one anonymous block. This is called as anonymous block. It doesn't have a name here. Okay. Anonymous block. And then select. This is a string we have attached to a parameters and then deriving into L file name. L file name is what it is here. L file name. It's a local variable. So we are taking a variable. Then after that, file name, then write mode. So this path is wrong actually. Let me overwrite with this. Take the first path, whatever it is there already in the program, that is some other path. Now L file name. L file name is here only it is mentioned. Based on the parameters, it will change. And W mode here, write mode. We are writing a data inside of a file. So instead of writing, there is one more, that is what it is, append. And if you are reading, then we can use R here. So just modes are, possible modes are here is 3. We'll use regularly. Now next is line. If you want to put a heading like this, PO number heading, supplier name heading, number, contact, all this, we can use here. PO number, C delimiter. Delimiter is pipe separated I want to use. That's why here delimiter is also a variable. Pipe I have used. Otherwise, we'll get confused. You can use delimiter tilde also like this, tilde symbol. We can concatenate first column, C delimiter, third column, like that it is. Okay, till all the columns, it's a single string only it is. Till here it is heading only. The heading we are printing into your button file. So for printing, we can use ETL file dot put line. If you want to print into log button here is the place, log button or output button through PLSQL. There is another package that is FND file, but we are explicitly writing. That's why it is a UTL file. See, one is UTL file put line, and one more is FND file dot put line. There is a difference. This is external file writing, and this one is view log or output button. If you want to write any message, user defined message inside of the view log or view output, then you have to use a package. The package name is fnd file.putline we can use. Clear? Now go back to Toad. If you want to print repetitively all these records, then for loop is required. This for loop is a syntax for variable name, then in cursor name loop. This is a syntax, for loop syntax everyone knows, right? Now to put counter variable, like how many number of records we extracted, we can use counter variable also. Counter variable will just go up, L count, this one. By default, we are making it as a 0. So it is called as a resetting counter variable, resetting. You need to see all these keywords, okay? If you are passing a default keyword in the parameters, we can make optional. But here we are putting default variable declaration, the value is 0 here. It's called as a resetting counter variable, okay? Now, this is the actual data we are printing. Actual data is available into X1 now. X1 is what it is, this one, for loop, variable syntax. Now, finally, we are ending loop. Then after that, we have to put a history here. History. History is what it is, like when it was submitted. That's called as a submission date. And who has submitted this? Many people will submit in the company, right? So submitted username, through which responsibility they submitted. There is a responsibility name. In what is your file name? There may be hundreds of files in the company. What is your file name out of it? And what is your directory? In which directory the file is generated? Okay, and what are the parameters? These are all will give you a complete history of your program. Okay. Now submission date, how to track here is there is a keyword that is a sysdate. Automatically it will pick up from environment. And username is how to it will pick up here is that is fnd profile dot fnd profile dot value we can use. And in the responsibility, so resp value, user ID, both you can get it through fnd profile only. File name is static name or our variable name we have, and file directory which is available from $. Parameter. Parameters you are passing, right? Parameters, you are passing 2 parameters, these 2. Dynamically, parameters values we have to print. Okay, now how we are printing in the log button or output button is go down. Here is the place. So first check parameters. We are printing. Till here it is for parameters only. fnd file dot put line, fnd file dot output. What are you printing in this? Your parameter variables you are printing. Now next is, this is just for space only I have given. chr10 is for space. Now second one is counter variable, number of records generated through this file. And next one is file name. File name, how we derived L file name? In between begin and end we derived, right? If you look at in the starting, this one. Cell file name we have derived dynamically. Now submitted user, fnd profile dot value, username, fnd profile dot value, resp name. System only will take it up. If you are submitting from your user, automatically it will take your username dynamically. This is taking from environment by default. Now fnd profile dot value resp name is, if you are submitting through order management, it will take order management name it is. And if you are submitting today, sysdate it is. Along with the timestamp it will take. If something goes wrong, like file name is wrong or file mode is wrong, these are all the exceptions. Invalid operation. If you give unknown path, immediately it will get into exception. If you give other than read write append, it will give invalid mode. File handle is extension. If your file is not having a permission, read error. If some network issues, internal error, any conversion functions or something, internal error. And at last, if when others than is a last clause it is. So these are all comes under standard exceptions. Then in the last class, we are giving here SQL ERRM, SQL code. It will pick dynamic message automatic. If you are not able to track the exception where went wrong, this is really helpful here. So for every program, common all this. If you are seeing first time, you may face difficulty, but these are all common for every program. If you build 50 programs, in all 50, you can copy and paste all this. You no need to change semicolon also. Okay. So again, I'm revising, guys. So first is what it is. These two are mandatory parameters. The values of red code is 0, normal, 1 for warning, 2 for error. Then cursor syntax, cursor, cursor name is select statement. Now, for loop syntax, for variable in cursor name loop. Okay. Then if you want to print output into button, v output button, this is the package we can use. These are all inbuilt. Okay. If you want to explicitly generate a file into file, other external file, then you can go with the UTL file it is. This one, UTL file dot put line. Now, to get username dynamically, then we can use this one, fnd profile dot value username. Responsibility name, this one we can use. And to track when it got submitted, system date we can use. We have certain exceptions. These are all standard exceptions related to UTL file. If something goes wrong, there is a when others than clause is there. In this, there are two keywords here, SQL ERRM, SQL code. It will give unknown error message, automatically will track it. So now I am expecting from you, tell me what we discussed step by step. First is what? User parameter, standard parameters. I'll ask you a question, you answer, that's it. Tell me. What are the standard parameters we have seen? For every procedure, two standard parameters required. That is error buff, red code. Cursor syntax. Yeah. Cursor syntax. Cursor. Cursor name is select statement. Now, for loop syntax. Tell me. for variable in cursor name, then loop and end loop, obviously. If you want to write output into file, what is the package we have to give? utl file dot f open. Okay. Now, if you want to write into this button, view output or view log button, what is the package we have to give? Right, exactly. Fnd file dot f put line. Put line on the mistakenly written. This is to write into file directly, and this is to write into output button or log button. Correct? Uh, how to get the username dynamically? What is the API we have to give? Fnd profile dot value, right? User ID fnd profile dot value, responsibility name. What else, guys? When others than is the last handler exception. It has two keywords. What are there? SQL code and one more SQL ERRM. ERRM is error message. Then certain standard set of exceptions, UTL file related, invalid mode, invalid file handle, then read error. If doesn't have file doesn't have permissions, read error, internal error. Correct? So these are all other exceptions. Whatever 160 lines code, it is not a big deal. Okay. Same will use. If you want to take another program as an example, only select statement will vary. Rest everything same. Okay. Now once it is ready, what you have to do? Press F5. Procedure is created. F5 only we have to press. F9 is for what it is? To execute a select statement. F5 is for to compile the PLSQL. F4 is to describe the object. Correct? F2 is for what it is? To show or hide a output. So these are all the keywords only we'll use regularly. Now, as of now, what we did? We have completed procedure creation only. Procedure. Second step is procedure registration as concurrent program. Concurrent program steps you are well aware. One is executable. Second one is concurrent program. The third one is what it is? Attached to request group. And fourth one is submit from responsibility. So these are all same steps you followed already. Unix program you followed, XML publisher you followed, correct? These are all the steps. Only 4 steps process, guys. So first executable will create. So like RDF, we are not moving into any other directory, RDF or any other. It will pick from database. I can go to application, concurrent program. You can register into system administrator. Then after that, right, concurrent program executable. So how many execution methods you have used as of now? You have used host program for Unix and one more. Oh yeah, that is a Java concurrent program. Rest also will use, guys, don't worry. Now PLSQL stored procedure it is. Okay. This is the execution method. Then only it will recognize as it is a procedure it has to call. Based on the method only it will recognize. Now file name. So better remove underscores, guys. Naming conventions are required properly. Do not use underscores in the names while registering into application. Canon is the client. It's a project actually. If you are working for Dell project instead of Canon, you can give a Dell. Which module it is? Purchasing, is it? If you are using package name dot procedure name here. Package name dot functions we cannot use. Okay. Only procedure only is applicable for registration. Remember this point, important it is. Define purchasing and parameters. What are the parameters we have? Error buff red code are out parameters, not input. Remember, out we should not give. Take this PO number from, or else like without underscores also it will take based on the order. Value set we'll see later. 10 by number required. 10 by number means it will accept till 10 digits, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. 10 digits is the maximum limit and it's a required parameter. Okay. Now take this. Request group navigation, security, request. For purchasing request group, I don't know. Let me see. So all reports is there. Attach. So last step we are under. We are under submitting from responsibility. I'm giving just 500, 700. Wait for a few seconds. Completed. So view output, it's not generated. View log, program is good, but let's check. Something went wrong. So if you look at here, say it is saying here, invalid number. This is another exception it went to. Because of this. So it's just a problem here, data type problem, because PO number may have a varchar also, right? Program completed successfully for a PO. These two are parameters. 500 is the first parameter and 700 is the second parameter. And number of records transferred for the file is 15,000 records. And file name. So this is your file name. Submitted user. Who has submitted this? Operations user. And through which responsibility have submitted. That is purchasing responsibility. And when it got submitted, 21st June. These are all, how are you printing all this here? By using which package? Which package we have used? The package name here is correct. That is, package name is this one. fnd file dot put line and fnd file dot output. Through this only we are printing into here. Otherwise, how user will get to know? User doesn't know SQL at all. You are a PLSQL programmer or Oracle Apps consultant. You should know all these table, joins, parameters. User doesn't know. Simply they will submit and their duty is clicking on view output. That's it. They need to know how it is happened. Okay. Now see the file name. File path is what it is here. Like v dollar parameter, right? This path. Here is a path. Till here. You can copy. You connect to the WinSCP. The file is available into server here. Not in your desktop. You need to connect to server and open that. Few seconds. Here is the place. Control O, which is used to open a directory like this. Click on OK. What is your file name? There are many files, thousands of files. Right now, only few. Your file name, PO details, 500 and 700 outbound text. Check where it is. This one, correct? You open this file, you can see this is the data. How this tilde symbol is coming? Tilde. This is a tilde symbol, record to record. I kept in the package, there is C delimiter. C delimiter is a variable actually. Here, it's our own variable. Instead of, if you don't want C delimiter, if they want to use it in a comma separated, then comma you can use. Anything you can use. Right? Completed. Check. Like this. These are all comma separated. So this data they can use for their internal calculation, any tool report, or they will check all the verification. We are taking out the data from Oracle Apps, okay, in the form of file. That is called as an outbound here. Outbound is only one line definition. It is correct. Outbound means data will go out from Oracle Apps. Two steps only we have done today. One is procedure creation. Other one is procedure registration into application. For procedure registration, only one change we have done, that is executable method. Method is what it is, PLSQL stored procedure. If you want to register any procedure inside Oracle applications, two parameters mandatory. That parameters are here is error buff and red code. So if you don't use error buff red code, what will happen? That also you should know, right? It will give some inconsistent arguments or something. Database wise, it will accept, no problem. But if you register into application only, it will expect. Here it is accepted. See, if you press F5 also, it is created. No problem. Now, If you submit it from here, it may get into error. Error. Okay. The error, why it is error is wrong number or types of arguments in a call. You need to remember this message definitely. If you don't use error buffet code, what will happen? It will get into error. It will give an error message saying that wrong number of arguments. That's it. That's a good point you need to remember. Now, next point here is when others than is there, right? At last we have given, correct? If you give in the first, what will happen? This when others than clause. If you give in the first, first list, here is a place. Right. It is giving here compiled, but with a compilation error. Your program is compiled because of this when others. When others, then always it should be in a last list. So it's not a even runtime error, it is a compilation error. We have to keep when others than at last only, not in the first or not in the middle. Okay, remember this is a good point. Whatever I am covering, these are all questions only which I faced in various interviews and work also. Okay, guys, I have completed today my explanation. Please work on this outbound interface. We change a statement if you want to take it as an assignment. That's enough. Rest of the steps, parameters, everything is same. Any doubts? Any doubts, guys, here? Yeah, yeah, they will help you out. Okay, because some classes completed already. Someone will help you.